Hello, and welcome back to the Macro Gamer channel. My name is Mark Cassingham. Today we're going into week 47 of our Shield Portfolios weekly numbers. This is as of Saturday, June 14th, 2025. So let's get into our numbers. So always at the beginning, we have our portfolio's net worth. So we have a total of $605.57. We have a market gain of $53.17 and a return of 17.14%. So this is our all-time information right here. So just a little quick snapshot. You can see the pie chart, how it's laid out. Have our weekly data for week 47. This is going to be from June 6th till today, June 14th. We currently have a market gain of $12.48. No dividend earned, so we have a total return of $12.48 with a money-weighted return of positive 2.10%. And this really came at the end of the week when Israel attacked Iran and Iran attacked back. So gold price went up. Commodity price went up, and that matters because our gold position is at 45%, our largest allocation in the portfolio. So this pop in gold really in this portfolio just happened like on Thursday, Friday kind of time frame. So right at the end of the week. So good for me, up 2% in a week, over 2% in a week. Portfolio monthly data for week 47. So this is going to be from May 13th till today, June 13th or 14th. We have a net cash flow of about $60. It says $59.76. It's two $30 deposits, one on May 14th right here, and one on June 4th right here. So that's cash flow, so that's cash coming into the account. So whenever you see those large spike ups, that's not a performance spike, that's just cash being added to the portfolio. Over that time frame, we have a market gain of $17.32. We have a dividend earned of 27 cents, which gives us a total gain of $17.59. And we have a money-weighted return of positive 3.09%. Again, a big part of that was right here at the end of the week. You can even see the curve just slightly popping up right here. It's just really just performance of that attack, unfortunately. But people go into gold when they're scared, and I own a lot of it apparently, showing in the performance. So now we have our portfolio quarterly data. So for week 47, so over a 3-month time frame. This is starting March 13th till today, again, June 14th. We have a net cash flow of $120.33. So basically 4 $30 deposits. You can see the spikes on the chart. This is the first one back on Liberation Day. Remember that one? That was a fun one. It went deposited and then tariffs were announced and boom, came right down. And this is the second one, the third one, the fourth one. So 4 deposits over the time frame. We have a market gain of $33 even, and we have a dividend earned over that time frame of $1.01, which gives us a total gain of $34.01. And we have a money weighted return of positive 6.71%. So really good for the quarter. Again, a lot of that is the volatility just this week, but it's a pretty good overall quarterly return. Then we have our all-time data for week 47. So this is since portfolio inception back in July 19th, 2024, when we were at $0. And we had a net cash flow of $554.94. So basically $550. You see our first initial deposit here of $100. That was to open the portfolio. And then every third week after that, a $30 deposit went into the account. So every time you see this little stair-step pattern, those are our deposits. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 times we've deposited $30 into this account steadily, consistently, dollar cost averaging, right? And at the same time, managing the portfolio for performance. This is the strategy. So over that time, we've had a market gain of $50.63 with a dividend earned of 2.54% for a total gain of $53.17. And over that time, we've had a money-weighted return of positive 17.14%. That's probably the highest I've seen it, at the very least in a while. Like I said, man, that attack really propelled gold upward. Positive 17. It's not even a year yet. And I'm like around the corner from like hitting 20%. I don't think I will. But like I said, I want to be double digits for year-over-year performance starting at 10%. Anything above 10%, I don't care, just as long as it's above 10%. The operational performance is between 5 and 10%. And then suboptimal performance would be like 0.5%. And then just absolute failure would be below 0% or negative. Right, so we're above 10%. So we're like optimal right now. This is as good as it's going to get. That's really great. So now we have our percentages. This is going to be our weekly percentages for week 47. On the right here, we have our target weighting of each of our assets. So at the top, we have gold at 45% with our GLD ETF. We have commodities at 15% with our USCI ETF. We have bonds at 15% with our GOVI ETF. We have stocks at 10% with our RSP ETF. We have US dollar at 10% with our UUP ETF. And we have Bitcoin at 5% with our IBIT ETF. So gold's still at 45%. April was very volatile, and I left it at 45%, and I've held it there. I wanted to bring it down, but man, gold is just still really high on that chart, and we're going to see those charts in a minute. So I feel like I have no reason to reduce my position. So for our weekly performance, we have our GLD ETF, our gold ETF, up 3.64% for a market gain of $9.63. This is, like I said, this is mostly on Thursday and Friday. Gold just surged, right? Surged. So gold did really good this week. Also commodities right here, up 3.22% for a market gain of $2.93. So gold and commodities do very good. The price of oil fucking shot up. Maybe we could look at that on a chart too. Because of the attacks, because Iran's a big oil producer. Iran, sorry. Bonds up 0.83% for a market gain of 74 cents, so very minimal. Stocks down 0.75% for a market loss of 45 cents. It's actually kind of surprising stocks didn't go down more with the attack because gold went up so much. US dollar down 1% for a market loss of 60 cents. Dollar continuing to fail. Horrible. Bitcoin up 0.880% for a market gain of 23 pennies. So Bitcoin kind of just meandering along. It dropped down a little bit, still at like a 105 level, I think. We have our portfolio monthly percentages for week 47. We have our gold ETF at positive 5.8% for a market gain of 5.80%. Sorry, for a market gain of $14.80. We have commodities also up 4.06% for a market gain of $3.45. So again, gold and commodities doing very good right now. Bonds up 0.85% for a market gain of 72 pennies. Stocks down 0.23% for a market loss of 13 pennies. US dollar for the month down 2.29% for a market loss of $1.31. Dollar's getting destroyed. Good thing I have it at 10%. Which is only at 10%. And then we have Bitcoin up 0.21% for a market gain of 6 pennies. So Bitcoin hasn't done shit for like the month. It's really just been trading kind of sideways. And then we have quarterly data for week 47. So over 3 months, the past 3 months, we have gold up 13.62% for a market gain of $25.95. That's really great. Double digits is always good over the quarter. We have commodities up 5.74% for a market gain of $4.80. Also doing pretty good. Bonds down 3.50% for a market loss of $2.89. I should really be just reducing my position to bonds. Keep it at 15, but I have so much in gold. I really don't want commodities to be higher. I'm not trusting with it going to 20% because it's at all-time highs too. Gold, I think, is a much safer play. Stocks, crazy volatile. I don't know. Still, I'm just still unconvinced about stocks. But I have to figure out where to put that 5% because, man, bonds are just dying. RSP, our stock ETF, up 4.01% for market gain of $2.47. So over the quarter, it's done okay. US dollar down 5% even. 5% over 3 months for a market loss of $3.26. This is always going to be the most devastating one when it goes down. That's just the purchasing power of my currency going down. Shame. Good thing I invest. So Bitcoin up 31.01% for market gain of $6.94. So Bitcoin over the quarter at least has been doing something. But if you look back on that monthly, barely trading sideways, went up 6 pennies. Then we have our all-time data. So a couple of these ETFs aren't in since the beginning, but we'll still go through them. Gold up 45.90% for market gain of $43.96. Very good for gold. Commodities are really coming back, up 20.50% for market gain of $10.09. So really good. Bonds, we don't have all-time data. We only have a little more than 3 months. I switched to this ETF on February 18th. So it's still, this number won't be accurate. Our stocks, our RSP ETF, still down 1.63% for market loss of 71 pennies. So this is all-time data for stock market for the equal weight right now. So still down. And US dollar, oh my God, down 11.09%, greater than 10% loss for a market loss of $5.99. This is devastating right here. This is devastating right here. It's weakening my currency. Bullshit. The Bitcoin up 72.09% for market gain of $9.18. So the IBIT ETF I've really only had since, pardon me, still early, September 3rd, 2024. So this is about when I changed. So not all-time data for this, but still several months worth of data, so good enough. That's our all-time for week 47. Here are all my trades, so no new trades. The last one I did, or the last two I did, I should say, were both on April 30th. As you can see, the last 3 trades on this list by the date were all into gold. Gold, GLD, GLD. +5, +5, +5, right? So I've increased my position to gold. And right now, like, I'm still holding it. Out of all the months so far, April by far was like the craziest month. I traded so much. That was tariff month. That was 90-day pause month. That was all the fucking craziness of it all. No portfolio transactions this week. So NA. We have our Illuvium staking dashboard for week 47. We have ILV below $12. I think it's the first time, maybe not the first time I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in a while. At $11.86, or at least not posted on here. We have currently 18.18 ILV staked for a current market value of $215.62. That's our Illuvium dashboard, our game that's going nowhere. At least you get to see a failed investment. So you have to eat the loss on that. Here's our vesting schedule, our vesting tokens. So our first one in July of 2024 will be unlocking in 43 days, which will also be our 1 year anniversary of this channel, starting it and doing all this. So it's gonna be real exciting. Hopefully that video will get some good views. These are just all the vestings for each month. Every month I add $40 and I stake it. The most recent one was May 30th last month, and it unlocks in 350 days. And all these have a weight of 2 because I did 1 year lockup, so I can get double the rewards. I get maximum air quotes, maximum rewards. And then we have our Illuvium revenue distribution for week 47, where we have nothing, $0, nothing, right? So we have claimed so far 3 revenue distribution payments, which total 0.024 ILV, which have a current market value of 28 cents. Hardly anything. So much hype, nothing. And then Illuvium transactions, nothing. No new transactions. So that is our portfolio. Now, as always, we go into our charts. So start with gold. or GLD ETF. And look at it just skyrocket up through this red trend line. Remember, so this is what I was talking about. This is Israel bombing Iran. It's the only thing I could think of that made gold did this on Thursday, Friday, because that was like the major news in the market. Just boom, right? So if I move this over just like this, right? This is what we were seeing before. You know, it was consolidating between this upward green trend line and this downward red trend line, right? Because this is right here, April 9th. So this is post 90-day pause. This is when Trump said 90-day pause, and then just boom, gold skyrocketed, and then hit this peak, and then came down, came back up, hit the peak again, came down, came up again, almost hit the peak, came down, then came up, hit the peak, came down, and then boom, broke through it, right? With a huge catalyst, I might add, which is war. The catalyst of war, which I guess gold is great for. Shocker. Remember, this trend goes back to October of 2023. So very consistent trend until it broke out here. The global tariffs and then the 90-day pause right after. So it broke out, came down, then smashed through that fucking green line. It's just been bouncing up and down. So now it's above that red. But, you know, Monday could have peace talks for all we know, and then gold will come down. I doubt it, but it seems like it only continues to escalate. It's the Middle East after all, and there's always war over there. So we are looking at this chart right now. We are basically all-time high. Let's see. Man, we're right there. Look at this wick, this candle. It's like, it looks like it tapped 3,500. And this came down and fucking tapped it. All right, so gold on the cusp of its all-time high at 3,500. Fucking great, love it. Love to see it. Commodities, whoo, all-time high right there. Look at that, all-time high. Look at that wick. Boom. This is also the war wick. This is the war wick right here. This is Israel's declaration of war on Iran. It's the war wick right here. It's the wick of the candle. This is all-time high. All-time high. So this trend goes back to about July 2022. Just up and down, up and down, up and down, chopping up and down in this trend. And it broke out. And then it's just been kind of going up and down above this trend. I wonder if I could draw a line from here to here. That's like a clean line. Now that I'm looking at it. Man, that might be a clean line. Let's see. See what that looks like. Does that look like anything? Let's see. Like the angle of it. Maybe like that. Almost like that. Like this, almost like this is extending out. It's crazy. Just tapping, tapping, tapping. If I bring it down just a smidge. I'm not going to keep this, but maybe I will. I don't know. Because this is the lower trend, and now it's bouncing around this upper trend. I might keep it for right now. Interesting, though. There's a whole lot of nothing in between here, but from these peaks back here to these peaks here, it's like pretty well straight across. So it's crazy to see that. But yeah, it's dude, it's popping out crazy, right? I can't predict war, you know. I can't predict war, but when Israel bombs Iran, again, Iran's an oil producer. Let's look at the price of oil, just to show you. Let's look at the price of oil. Boom! Look at that wick. Look at that wick. This is a 5-year trend, not 5-year. Scratch that. It's like a 3-year trend. It's been going down, which if you are a driver of a internal combustion engine, you pay for gas, you like to see the price of oil go down, that could be helpful. But look at it, it just spiked up. So it was down here around the 60s. It started climbing up, and then war was declared, not like global war, but just military attack. And then just bam, just shot up and came back down. It was trying to break this trend, but it came back down. But this has kind of been the trend for oil. It's been coming down since June of 22. But man, USCI though, because USCI is a index, or has a bunch of different commodities in it. It's an index of commodities basically. So it's all the commodities are grouped together going up over time, so you can see a better trend like this. But yeah, commodities are doing great, fortunately because of war, but it is what it is. And then we have our bond ETF, GOVI. So going back to the COVID pandemic, it's been coming down. It looks like it almost bottomed around here, but maybe not, because now it's breaking the trend. But now it's back up above the trend, so it's just chop, 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 bouncing up and down. I wonder when looking at the 10-year yield, I'm watching this right here. So this has kind of been the upward trend of the 10-year yield, and then it kind of hit this peak here, and then it's been kind of going sideways and hit a peak again, and again it's coming to this like little wedge pattern right here. So I'm wondering what's going to happen, if it's going to break down or up. But maybe now might be the moment, or it could just keep going sideways. Just keep going sideways. It could say screw the trend, doesn't care. But waiting to see what happens with bonds. But it's right now in this low trend, this kind of bottom trend, just up, up, up. But it's broken up and down a bunch, but it's not staying consistent. And then one of the just horrible charts. Let's look at the DXY. Get a better representation. There we go. So that 100 line, if you go back, go to the all, you kind of see it bounce around here, going back to 2022. You see it tap it again in 2020. You tap it again in 2016. Then you see a couple more taps here in 1998, 99, 1989, right? Like you kind of see it happening around that 100 level. But this has kind of been the trend, and right now it's below the 100. The 100's an arbitrary number. It's not the price, but it's an arbitrary number. But it's definitely been coming down. Definitely has been coming down. So I have it at 10% in my portfolio. So I'm going to keep it that way because, man, it's not showing me nothing right now. This has been like a sideways trend overall. And just right now trying to figure out what the new trend's going to be. But it's been coming down. Like I can draw a red line straight down. That's probably going to be the trend. So US dollar not doing good. Stocks been trying to climb back the equal weight at least. It came down on tariffs, and the 9-day pause came back up, and then it kind of hit this line, bounced, and then trying to bounce again. So if we zoom out to September of 22, October of 22, you see this one's trend kind of starts. Broke down pretty bad right here in the later end of 2023, but it's recovered, come back, but now it's broken down again because all this global tariff issue. But if you look at the S&P 500, which is heavily weighted towards like 7 stocks, you see this kind of a little more clean-ish trend happening right here, up and down, up and down. But it blew through that previous high here, and now it's going up, but it's still kind of riding that line. It's still kind of riding that line. I could even move that line up if I wanted to make it look like it's not, but it's basically riding that line. So it's kind of hitting resistance. And obviously on Friday, missiles getting launched into another country that produced a lot of oil, like a little bit fear in the stock market came down. Right, but this is kind of been the trend. Still not at all-time high. It wants to get there so bad. It wants to get there so bad. Let's get like that 6120 or whatever, 6130. But as of right now, like there's a huge recovery in stocks, but it was just so volatile. I'm much better off in gold, in my opinion. Look at this fucking line right here. Like it sucks to miss out on stocks, but also I'm in gold. So like my portfolio's doing great. I don't need the extra volatility of the stock market to get good returns. I could just be in gold. The countries are stockpiling that shit right now, so I'm not the only one buying gold. Then we have pretend digital gold, aka Bitcoin. So we have it at this peak right here. It's pretty much just been stuck at this peak. It's just bouncing up, down, bouncing up, down. Has a big rise, bouncing up, down, bouncing up, down. It also got a little fearful on war concerns. So you see our decade-long trend line, right? Still right there, still at that trend. Not breaking it, right? It's kind of bouncing up and down around of it, but it's not breaking it. We do a 5-year. Yeah, there you go. So I don't know what's going to happen to Bitcoin. I don't even know why it rose. I don't know why it's hitting this trend. I don't know why, right? It just is. All right, it just is for whatever reason. I see people saying online, like, all kinds of different things about Bitcoin. I'm like, look at this chart, look at this line. Make whatever you want of it, but just look at it. Right? Every time we've had the fucking peak of the bull market, it's hit this line. At the peak of 2017 hit this line. We had 2 peaks in 2021 hitting this line. We had a peak at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025 hitting this line, and now currently where we're at in 2025, it's hitting this peak again. It just keeps hitting that peak. I don't know what's going to happen. I do not believe Bitcoin is the world reserve asset, nor is it the risk-averse asset. You know, war breaks out, Bitcoin goes down, doesn't go up. Right? Went down a little bit on that war news. Let's see. So where are we at? What's it? Oh man, it went down even before that. Yeah. So here we are, June 12th. This is Thursday, Friday, going into the war. Just boom, it's above this line. It fucking jumped on it, came up like it was going to do something, and bam, broke through. Right? So no risk aversion there with Bitcoin. But anyway, those are our weekly numbers. Really good week for me. Really good week. Fucking A. My all-time is at 17%. Right? Look at that. 17%. Oops. There we go. 17%. Bam. Look at that. Gold. Right? Gold and it's doing quite well against the S&P 500, like beating it in many ways. You know, it's just a lower volatility asset overall. Like I said, people are stockpiling it. It's doing great. And, you know, it shows up in the portfolio. Of course, next week shit can go down and then my portfolio will be down and I'll be upset. But either way, that was this week's update for week 47. So hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, let me know. Have a good day.